Picture this: a quiet Christmas Eve, the snow gently falling outside, the house filled with festive cheer, until the silence is shattered by an unexpected visitor. In the stillness of the night, the Smith family was nestled in their home, their hearts filled with holiday spirit. The tree was alight with twinkling ornaments, and the aroma of baked cookies wafted through the air. But this tranquil scene was soon to be fractured by an unforeseen intrusion. Out of the hushed silence, an unsettling sound echoed through the house. A faint creaking like a footstep echoed from the living room. The family, puzzled and alarmed, cautiously ventured downstairs. What they found was their worst nightmare come to life: an intruder. This was no ordinary burglar, though. His demeanor was unnervingly calm, his eyes cold and calculating. He wasn't there for the presents nestled under the tree, nor the valuables tucked away in the house. His intentions were far more sinister. The fear that gripped the family was palpable. The sanctity of their home had been violated, their sense of security shattered. The intruder, with an eerie serenity, seemed to feed off their terror. The chilling atmosphere was punctuated by the soft, sinister sounds of the intruder, a stark contrast to the once joyous holiday ambiance. The family watched helplessly as the intruder rummaged through their personal belongings, not to steal, but to leave behind a trace of his unsettling presence. The violation was not just physical but psychological, leaving a deep scar in their collective memory. The ordeal ended as abruptly as it had begun. The intruder, seemingly satisfied with the terror he had instilled, calmly walked out into the snowy night, disappearing into the white abyss. His haunting figure, a chilling silhouette against the snow, was the last they saw of him. As the intruder disappeared into the snowy night, the family was left with a chilling Christmas memory they would never forget. The festive cheer had been replaced with a chilling fear, turning their once joyful Christmas Eve into a nightmarish reality. From joyous celebrations to the worst nightmare, a Christmas day that started with laughter ended in tragedy. Picture a quintessential family Christmas. The house is abuzz with laughter and conversation. The air is thick with the aroma of roasted turkey and homemade pies, and a beautifully decorated tree stands as a beacon of cheer. It's a day of merriment, a day of love, and a day to create memories. But this particular Christmas day in question, etched in the annals of real-life horror, took a turn no one could have anticipated. What started as a day of festive cheer was about to become an unforgettable ordeal, a chilling Christmas Day tragedy. As the family gathered around the dining table, indulging in the sumptuous feast, a freak accident occurred. An unexpected event that transformed the scene from one of joyous celebration to one of sheer horror. The suddenness of the shift was as shocking as the event itself, leaving everyone frozen in their tracks, their faces a mask of disbelief and terror. In the midst of the laughter, the clinking of glasses and the sharing of stories, a scream echoed through the house. It was a scream that seemed to freeze time, a scream that would forever be imprinted on the minds of those present. The festive cheer was abruptly replaced by a palpable sense of dread, the once lively atmosphere now shrouded in a silence so profound, it was deafening. In the aftermath, the house that was once filled with the warmth of a family Christmas stood eerily silent. The laughter, the cheer, the joy of the day, all replaced by a chilling quietude that was as unexpected as the tragic event itself. The Christmas tree, once a symbol of joy and celebration, now cast long, menacing shadows, each twinkling light seeming to flicker in sync with the heartbeat of the house. In the blink of an eye, the festive spirit was replaced with a chilling silence that echoed through the house. A haunting melody, a Christmas carol that echoed through the night, but where was it coming from? Imagine, if you will, a tune that stirs the air of a quiet neighborhood, a melody so chilling it sends shivers down your spine. Yet it's a Christmas carol, a song meant to bring joy and cheer, a paradox, isn't it? It all began on a frosty Christmas Eve, when a man, let's call him John, heard the peculiar carol for the first time. It was unlike any Christmas song he'd ever heard. The melody was hauntingly beautiful, yet it carried a coldness, a sense of dread that clung to the notes like frost to a window pane. John was intrigued but also unnerved. He stepped outside, the cold winter air biting at his skin, but he found no sign of carolers. The night was as still as a frozen pond. The song seemed to come from nowhere, yet it filled the air around him. It was as if the very wind were singing this eerie carol. As Christmas turned into New Year, the song faded away, but the memory of it lingered, like a ghostly afterimage. John was haunted not just by the melody but by the mystery of it. Who was singing this carol? And why only on Christmas Eve? The following Christmas Eve the carol returned, and the next, and the next. Each year John would search for its source, but to no avail. The song seemed to come from all directions and none at all. It was a puzzle that he could not solve, a mystery that consumed him. The fear, the obsession, it began to take a toll on John. His once cheerful Christmas spirit was replaced by a growing dread as the holiday season approached. Yet, he couldn't escape the song. It was like a siren's call, haunting and irresistible. Year after year the haunting carol plays, a chilling reminder of a Christmas mystery that remains unsolved. The carol still echoes through the night every Christmas Eve, a ghostly serenade that sends a shiver down the spine of those who hear it. John's story reminds us that not all Christmas tales are filled with joy and laughter. Some carry a chill that lingers long after the holiday season has passed. An unexpected knock on the door, a stranger standing on the threshold, a Christmas guest that was never invited. Imagine the scene. It's Christmas, and the air is filled with the scent of pine, the sounds of joyous carols, and the warmth of a family gathering. Suddenly there's a knock at the door, breaking the rhythm of the festivities. It's not another caroling group or a late family member, but a stranger standing alone in the cold winter night. This stranger, with a smile too wide and eyes too bright, claims to have lost his way in the snowstorm. The family, embodying the spirit of Christmas, invites him in, unaware of the chilling encounter that awaits them. As the stranger steps in, the merry atmosphere begins to shift. His laughter rings a little too loud, his stories told with a fervor not quite fitting the festive occasion. The children shy away, instinctively sensing something amiss. The adults exchange uneasy glances, their initial goodwill fading into a creeping sense of dread. As the night wears on, the stranger's behavior grows increasingly unsettling. He seems to know a bit too much about the family, about their traditions, their past. His comments, initially dismissed as odd, now feel intrusive, even threatening. The warmth of the house turns icy, the twinkling Christmas lights casting ominous shadows. Eventually the family musters the courage to ask the stranger to leave. He complies, but not before leaving a disturbing parting message, a cryptic warning that sends shivers down everyone's spine. The door closes behind him, but the fear he instilled remains, hanging heavily in the air like an uninvited ghost. The aftermath of this chilling encounter changes the family forever. Their once joyful Christmas gatherings are now tainted with unease, the memory of the stranger's eerie presence lurking in the back of their minds. The stranger left behind a chilling Christmas memory, a reminder that not all guests come bearing gifts. A festive gathering, a joyous occasion, until one guest mysteriously disappears. The scene: a Merry Christmas party in full swing, laughter echoing through the festively decorated halls. The air is thick with the scent of pine and baking spices as the guests mingle and exchange pleasantries. But as the evening wears on, the atmosphere begins to shift. There's a sudden realization that someone is missing. A beloved aunt, known for her infectious laughter and warm hugs, hasn't been seen for a while. A quick search of the house yields nothing. The backyard, the basement, even the attic. She's nowhere to be found. The laughter dies down, replaced by hushed whispers and growing unease. The party, once filled with joy and merriment, is now shrouded in confusion and fear. Calls are made to the local authorities, neighbors are questioned, but no one has seen her. The night drags on, the festive lights now casting long, eerie shadows around the house. Finally, as dawn breaks, a chilling discovery is made. Her scarf, a bright red contrast against the white snow, is found in the woods nearby. But of the aunt herself, there's no sign. The once joyous Christmas party is now a scene of a disturbing mystery, a disappearance that has left a permanent scar on the hearts of the guests. The joy of Christmas was replaced with a disturbing mystery, a disappearance that would haunt the guests for years to come.